Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm hopping back in to the Blitz pool, going up against a 2450 rated opponent, Kilgoret out, and he's playing a Gambit, the King's Gambit. Can I get to play another Pickler? Get my Pickler Gambit redemption. Not every day do people play the King's Gambit, and when you do play this line, it's not every day that they do it, but 2 games in a row, I have gotten the Pickler Gambit. This one, you know, it's a bit wild. And they immediately play d4. Okay, I take with a pawn. I take with a pawn. All right. I'm offering you this as well. Would love to see you take it. I'm just trying to accelerate my development to the max. And we'll see what we can do. So I mean, this doesn't really make that much sense. But let's actually give this a check. Let's play this funny. And I'm going to go here, trying to take this maybe with my queen. This knight is going to end up going here. Expecting that he's never actually going to take on b7, so I'm going to have to put this knight here at some moment. But I got this annoying pawn, and let's hope that's enough to do something. Any queen check, I go here, and the next move is to take this. So he's on my bishop. I better protect it. So I protect my bishop and nothing else. Let's see how this goes. Now I'm actually out of the way, so I can bring my knight here. Opponent might go here. This would be very tricky. I don't see like a tactical way. It does give me this square though. Yeah, okay, so he goes for this. Material is now equal. I don't want to trade queens. Where do I want to put my queen? I mean, I'm sure I could just develop, and maybe it's good for me. But his king is a lot more exposed than mine, so let's try to keep this on. Go here, maybe threaten to bring my bishop in. So, where's he going? He's going to go here. I can't draw arrows. He's trying to go to c4. That's fine. Just put my queen on a safe location. Try to get castled. E-file is still open. I don't know which way the opponent is going to attempt to castle. If he goes here, though, he is on the verge of castling queenside. I don't think I need to be that scared about it, though. Yeah, okay, I'm going to put this back. I really do want to just get castled quickly. He's going to castle on the other side, and we're going to have a good old-fashioned... Let's checkmate each other fest. Let's bring the knight out. Let's put a rook here. This feels like a good square for a rook. Maybe this is a good square for a bishop. And then we'll start playing like b5 and aggressive stuff. Just want to get all of my pieces into the right spots. And then at some moment here, go for an attack. Let's get this bishop here. Aggressing this square. Let's jump this knight in. Not allowing the knight to trade, and hoping to get a bishop. Something here on the dark squares. What could be playable? I guess that works. Let's try here. Intending on hopping in, which is actually a very large threat, I think. I think it will be difficult for the opponent to defend against all of this. It goes here. I hung my pawn. Dang. Okay, well, I did hang my pawn, so fair enough. Let's try here. Okay. I guess I did hang a lot of stuff. Kind of messed all this up. The Pickler, it's such a hard beast to handle. Here, maybe here. Some sort of here and here. But here, he's going to go here. He has to. If I had this pawn here, maybe I actually have a way of trying to win this bishop. So maybe is this a sneaky move or not? Let's go here. This rook is defended against tactics, I think. Okay, now he's playing for the tactics. Let's just get out of this so that this move is not check. Okay. Time now matters a lot. Let's go take these pawns out. I'm trying to keep an eye on this knight. Knights are so tricky. I think we're gonna win. Let's go. And that's, I mean, the Pickler Gambit, it's so crazy. It's so wild. I'm sure this wasn't the perfect game, but I'm kind of committed to posting all of my Pickler Gambits on YouTube in order to try to promote this really crazy and interesting way that you can play against the King's Gambit. You start with d5. This is the Folkbeer counter gambit, and a lot of people will know about this. And after they take, usually you play with e4 here as black, and the point is you're just kind of constricting white's ability to develop the rest of their pieces, and maybe at some point you can sneak in a queen check if it makes enough sense. But there does exist this line with c6, and even here, a well-trained King's Gambit here will be ready for pawn to c6. Now, if they take, you can play the Pickler. And it looks like most people do take, but for whatever reason, I find people playing all sorts of other crazy stuff. I guess there's like a whole bunch of moves that you could play. But takes is the most interesting, because here, instead of taking back with a knight, which is totally fine, it's actually good for black if you take back with a knight, you can play instead here the Pickler Gambit, bishop to c5. Now, computer doesn't really highly rate this particular gambit, and is really tricky, and I'm sure I'm about to embarrass myself because I'm going to look at what the engine says. Now, the opponent played d4, and I think the idea is that you're just trying to get this bishop out. I'm doing everything I can to kind of prevent you from developing a lot of your pieces. They're getting a little nervous, but they play d4, and I take it back with my pawn. And look at this, a major success so far for the Pickler, but let's continue and check out a few more moves. Bishop to d3 is what was played. Obviously, at any point I can go here, but I really want to try to gambit a little bit harder. I gave this check. My point was to weaken this diagonal because my bishop will eventually go here. Again, it was probably better to just keep developing, but whatever. We're having a little bit of fun, and I'm sure the eval is going to get even worse. So the computer, my opponent, who's hopefully not a computer, brings his queen all the way out here, attacking my bishop from a very, very long distance. So I went here, trying to be sneaky, defending my bishop, but also attacking this rook from quite a distance. The opponent went back to f3. I scoot over to b6. Okay. They bring their knight out, and I wasn't thinking at all about giving up this dark squared bishop. I think the dark squared bishop is he's an integral part of my team. I know the Stockfish wants to give him up. No, no, no. You're on my team, buddy. I'm going to keep you alive. I don't care what the fish says. I drop my queen back. Now this check. Here I was a little bit unsure of what to do, but bishop e7 is correct, so that I'll be able to castle. And the game slows down a little bit. We're both able to get castled now in this position. Knight to c6 is what was played. Knight to f3, and now I'm just kind of going about trying to bring all of my pieces into the right squares, and I think that's what my opponent should do too. He should bring in a rook, or he should make some sort of king b1 sort of tidying up move. He goes for action though. I developed the last of my pieces. Now the king goes to b1, defending against any attacks here. And I guess I should follow my own rule. I should try to bring in more stuff too. I could bring this guy in. I could try to improve this guy. But knight b4 is what I came up with. And this is actually a large mistake, because now he's able to take. And after this recapture, play bishop to c4. And at some point, I just kind of figured that, like, yo, there's going to be a lot of pressure here on this e-file. This is going to end up working well if, you know, somehow I can get this exposed. But it's not that easy. And it turns out that my f7 pawn turns into a bigger weakness than anything that's going on the e-file, which was kind of incredible. And this move doesn't work at all. It just hangs a pawn. But I was really getting ready for some sort of knight to c3 attack, and I've hit X, I've hit the threat button here just to kind of show if it were my turn, knight to F3, knight to C3, sorry, would be my move, but it's not even like winning move for me. They would have to take, and there is some defense for white. So that's what I got tricked into going for. They take back with the rook, which is also very good. They're lining up with this, intending perhaps on taking my knight and taking my bishop. Knight to C3 maybe is best, but super doesn't work. So I play queen here, and I'm in a lot of trouble. Opponent is now breaking through, taking here, and should take on F7. This is also very strong. So F7 now is attacked 3 times. They've defended against certain threats, and it's really hard for me to proceed. But for some reason, the opponent doesn't take on F7 now or like ever. So I play King F8, getting out of all of it. I'm still getting crushed. They can attack F7 again with knight to G5. But they play A3. Now they finally take. I'm forced to kind of get my rooks in. We're going to have to trade down. And this endgame is actually crazy losing for me. But somehow it didn't end up that way at all. It was more like cruising to victory. But this whole thing is losing. I brought my king in, and it was here that they made a very large mistake. They have knight to D6, giving check and winning this pawn. If you win this pawn, I'm really stuck. I don't have any time to run there, because now this guy is going to come. I'm going to have to give up my bishop for this. But this should be the way to win this with white. But one bad move, they run away, lets me run in, and all of a sudden I take over. And I'm the one that's able to start taking these pawns. And I'm the one that's able to get a pawn and move it over. But even here, some accuracy is required. And with 26 seconds to 12, a move like king to F3, this is like a tactics puzzle. When you see an endgame tactic puzzle like this, you know it's going to be very tough. But I need to play king to F3, getting my king closer, presumably to all of these pawns. But I decided to start running my pawn. Opponent doesn't stop me. I'm going to be running it all the way, sacking all of this stuff. None of this really made sense. But in the end, I won this equal position. And if you like the Pickler Gambits and Gambits like this, please make sure you subscribe. Hopefully this was educational. Hopefully you learned something, and I'll see you for the next video.